This probably isn't getting picked up, but I have a swarm going on right now. I don't usually see this. Not sure where they're landing. In this tree, I think. Not sure where they're coming from. One of my hives, obviously. Oh, right here. This hive is the hive that I was going to do grafts off of. And it's swarming right now. Well, that may kill my grafting. They're not supposed to do that. Never seen them spew out of a hive. They are just pouring out. Coming out the top, coming out the bottom. Well, that's not good. I'm gonna have to see if I can figure out where they've landed over there in the tree. Well, I guess time to get the gloves on and see if I can capture a swarm. Things haven't calmed down yet. I still have a mass of bees on this hive. They're not pouring out like they were. And I still got a clump of bees gathering in the tree here. I managed to shake off one big clump, and I don't know whether the queen's still up there or not, or whether she got dropped into the box. For those of you that don't know, this is a Russian olive tree, and it's blooming right now. But one thing about Russian olive trees is they have thorns that are just wicked, and they are not very fun to deal with. So trying to get into the tree is not very fun. I'll show you thorns on these things. That's a typical thorn, so just trying to get into the tree is challenging without just getting all tore up. You can't. They're pretty mean, but I think I'm gonna shake these bees down one more time out of the tree and down to the box and see if they congregate in the box or if they congregate in the tree. I don't have anything with me. I don't have I had this one extra box. I don't have a bottom board. I don't have a lid. I don't have anything to really catch these bees with. So just doing what I can do. Okay, after about an hour, I don't know, it's been about an hour and a half. The bees had swarmed over into this tree, and I put a box underneath them and shook the bees in. I thought I pretty well got them, and then I had the state bee inspector come right in the middle of all that, and so I just left them and thought, well, we'll see if they kind of stay in the box a little bit. Well, they didn't stay in the box. They came back to the hive, and now they're bearding on the outside. We went through the hive. The queen is in the box. I found the queen, so she's still there. So I think I'm going to I'm probably going to make a couple of splits here. There's several really nice looking queen cells in this hive. but I think I'm still going to do some grafting. So I'm going to go and get all the equipment I need to do this. I've got another hive back here in the back. This one that's got a couple of ripe queen cells on it as well. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to make some quick splits off of these and take advantage of those queen cells while I've got them. Anyway, so swarm almost. Hive swarmed and then swarmed back. So hopefully they'll stay in the box. Hello, it is Thursday, June 5th. And I've been out of town for a couple of days, and then weather's not been great around here, and have not been into these hives for about 2 weeks. Other than this one hive that I set up as my cell builder, and today was supposed to be grafting day. And I think I'm still going to graft today, but things did not go as planned. I got out to this yard and I was going to get my cell builder set up, kind of the next step. And when I arrived, this one hive here was in the process of swarming, which was my cell builder. And it wasn't supposed to do that. Yes, it's understandable that it wanted to swarm, but I expected to have a little bit of time. Usually what I do is I'll add all that brood. I add 7 or 8 frames of capped brood over a queen excluder on a hive that's already strong, and then what you end up with is this monster hive that wants to swarm, which it tried to do today. But usually you have time, I do that about 10 days, 11 days ahead of time. And then when you come back and, kind of finish setting things up for the cell builder, you go through and cull out any swarm cells that are in the hive. Well, that was the plan today, was to do that. Well, this hive was in the process of swarming, and it swarmed not very far. So this taller hive here on the end, that was the hive that was set up as my cell builder, and it swarmed from here over to this tree. It's 30 feet, and had a big cluster of bees in the tree. I didn't have anything with me other than a box. No bottom board, no top cover, no nothing, just a box with some frames in it. And I went out and put the box under the limb that all the bees were on and shook them down. Most of the bees looked like they were kind of going into the box. I was watching for the queen. I never did see her. In the meantime, I have the state bee inspector coming to take samples for the National Honeybee Survey that I do every year. I'll try to leave a link to the video from last year when they came out to sample my hives. And again, I'd love them to come out and sample my hives. I think it's a great opportunity to get some diagnostics on your hive that you would normally not get. Anyway, while we were sampling the remainder hives out here, this swarm came out of the box and worked their way right back into the hive. By the time we got done, I had a big fat beard on the front of this hive, and we looked down through the colony, and the queen was down here in this second box up, and found her. She's still there. There are some swarm cells, but nothing really capped, nothing that far along. So I'm a little surprised, at least not that I found so far. There may be. I'm going to go through this hive now really closely and make sure that we don't have any swarm cells both up here in the top box and down here in these bottom 2 boxes. We're going to make sure there's no more swarm cells. If there's some swarm cells that are looking really good, I may actually pull a split out and let that queen cell emerge in a nuke box and make a split that way, because there's ample bees here. I'm gonna go ahead and set up my cell builder. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this top box and the second box, which is mostly honey, and then I'm gonna set them to the side for a minute. I'm gonna take these bottom 3 boxes, and this hive's big enough that it needs another box besides that. And I'm gonna take these 3 boxes, and I'm gonna take the hive, slide it over into the middle, and turn it around so the entrance faces that direction instead of this direction. And then I'll set a new bottom board down, and then we'll put these 2 boxes from the top back down on the bottom board, facing the original direction. That means those boxes are going to get all of the foragers. Again, as I do this, I'm going to go through all of the brood boxes and make sure there are no queen cells. And that should hopefully slow down the swarm process a little bit. As we went through some of these other hives in the back, I noticed several swarm cells in some of those. So I'm going to pull a couple of splits out of some of these and see if I can't just slow them down. But I'm just going to take advantage of the swarm cells that are there and make a few splits and hopefully not lose any honey production. It's a little risky I don't want to take too many bees out of any of these hives, or there goes my honey production. We're just starting our nectar flow, and I think that's what kicked off the whole swarm impulse. This is really the first nectar flow we've had so far this year. So that's what I'm doing today. Let's get into it and see if I can still make some queens. My goal at the moment is to go through and make sure there are no queen cells anywhere. All right, let's see what we've got here. Now, they must have built queen cells because they certainly wanted to swarm. I've got queen cells right here. Here and here. Before I start shaking cells off, I think what I'd like to do is I want to keep as many bees in these top 2 boxes as I can. I'm going to set these boxes off so I can get this other. Oh, that's pretty heavy. You can see a couple of queen cells on the bottom of that, but not too many. Okay, I'm not going to need this, and I want this to go with my cell builder. Oh, and it is full. Here's my normal hive, and this is the one that I'm gonna take this hive, slide it over, and turn it around, all in one whack. Okay. Bottom board to push bees out of the way here. I'm going to give that hive an empty box to work on. Okay, now there shouldn't be any brood in this box. I noticed some queen cups on the bottoms, but there shouldn't be any brood in any of this box. So I'm going to just go through it real quick. This was the box I added all the brood to 10 days ago. So the majority of this brood has emerged, but I've got 2 really nice queen cells right here, and I'm going to drop this to a nuke. And I suspect I'll find a few more that I'll probably just cull down. So now I need to shake all the bees off and make sure I don't have any queen cells left. Okay, so this one's good. It stays now. Interesting, these bees have decided maybe they want in. They're working their way back in the hive now. All coming up, working their way back in. I don't know about bees. They never do what you expect them to do. All right, in the meantime, I gotta get this worked through. That's where my graft frame's gonna go. It's right there. Now, I've got this original hive here that I need to go through as well. For the time being, I'm just gonna close this one up. Hopefully they'll settle down. I've got all these bees that were on the ground. They're starting to make their way in. Okay, I'm gonna separate these two boxes so I can do the bottom one first. And yes, I do make some oxalic acid sponges, put them in the hive. And I got a whole bunch of drones on this frame. Gobs of drones. The sun's trying to shine and it's raining on me. Beekeeping in the rain, I guess. This bottom box has still got gobs of bees in it, and I wouldn't mind having some of those bees up here in this box. Okay, I'm going to give her at least this frame of empty drawn comb for her to lay on. I'll probably do a couple more frames up in the next box. Okay, I'm going to go through this other box now, but I don't want to set it over there yet. Alright. Alright, I found my queen. She's right here. So she's going to get moved. She's running. Where'd she go? There she is. Okay, there she goes. There she slipped down into the hive. Okay. This frame has a really nice queen cell that's not going to get mashed, and it's got a couple on this side that aren't going to get mashed in a box. So in a box they go. So now I really want to just pack this hive with bees, and I know where my queen's at, so now I can just start shaking these off. And then again, we're going to make sure we don't have any queen cells whatsoever. Okay, I've been through this entire box. There's no more queen cells in here. We're going to put this back on. That goes there. I'm going to put this back on. Okay, these guys are all pretty well situated. Gently put that on top. That needs another frame. Okay. here's what I've got now. This hive is, this is where I added the brood in this box. I've been through this box. There's no more queen cells at all in here. And I've packed it full of bees. And then this hive's the original hive that I turned around. And I gave them an extra box so that they've got plenty of room. And I've actually pulled 4 frames, actually 8 frames of bees and brood. I've pulled 4 splits out of this whole setup right here, and I've still got gobs of bees, and that's exactly what I want for raising queens. All right, I've got my grafts finally done. Boy, this has been a hard one to do for some reason, and they're gonna go right into this hive. And as you can see, they're boiling with bees. Kind of let them settle right down in there. And hopefully, in a few weeks, we got some queens. Well, I finally got through everything. Got my grafts in the hive and pulled a few nukes out of the hive, and there's still plenty of bees in there to raise some queens. So all in all, it's been kind of a weird day. Had a swarm that tried to leave and then came back, and then I split it down and still made a cell builder out of it, and pulled a couple of nukes out of it, and I guess you just do what you can when you can, and roll with the punches. I still have one more yard to get through today, tomorrow or Saturday, and we'll see how they go. Hopefully they're not swarming on me. I did not expect these to be swarming. They shouldn't have swarmed quite yet. I should have had another couple of days before they wanted to do that, but apparently today was the day, and I've been rained on, and I've been wind blown, and all in all, but I didn't get stung at all, which is surprising with all the mucking I did in the hives. But got through them, and hopefully we'll have some queens here in a little bit, and I'll show you what kind of results I get here in a few days. 4 or 5 days, I'll pull that frame up and see what kind of results I get off of it. I don't know, after today things kind of went south on me pretty quick, and we'll see what kind of grafts I can get out of them. But hope your bees are doing well. Hope you had a better day than I did. It was a rough day today, so glad it's over. Catch you on the next one.